Dreamcast guy.
You blew it.
Skip it up and that up. So the whole Austin Evans PS5 is worse video drama, I guess you could say, has blown over. And I wasn't the only person that made videos on it. I was kind of more the middle of the road because I'm like, look, people make mistakes. He just gave an initial take on it. Then we had Digital Foundry and Gamers Nexus that went more in depth with the new PS5 revision than Austin did. They said basically, yeah, it's a big nothing burger. The differences are negligible. Life moves on. And it wasn't even necessarily Dreamcast guys' take on the new PS5 revision, because in that aspect he actually wasn't wrong, but it's how he reacted to the whole situation that I wasn't okay with. And what I did was I looked through his videos, and I wasn't going to make a video on this until there was one key. There were other things I'm going to be critical of. I have no issue with Dreamcast guy. I think he's a very good dude, but I call it like I see it. I defend people. I call out people. I'm a commentator on YouTube. I do mostly talk about tech, but it's intertwined with commentary. And there was one key thing he said, which I have in here, which said, okay, this is video worthy to make on him. And this isn't okay because this drives me nuts in the tech, commentary, drama, gaming communities, all combined. It happens all the time, and it drives me insane. So anyway, there's the two videos that I have here from Dreamcast guy, and the clips I took from, and I'll have both listed below in the description so you could see that I'm not taking anything out of context. The first video I have is the new PS5 is not worse. Now, I went through this video and got out the key things I wanted to discuss. Let's take a look. I'll be stopping in between to give my takes. Let's have some fun.
This guy, Austin Evans, he is a very, very big YouTuber, and he's had this trending video for the last 2 days called The New PS5 is Worse. Part of the anger about this, I think, comes from Austin Evans himself. This guy's done a bunch of big viral content talking about Microsoft and how much he just thinks it's the best system ever and stuff like that.
When did Austin Evans say that the Xbox Series X is the best console ever? He's never said that. He's explicitly stated that he just had more access, or Microsoft gave him more access to their next gen at the time system, now their current gen systems, than Sony gave Austin with they gave him no access. So a major corporation is giving him access to a console and another major corporation is not. So of course he's going to make videos because he knows there's hype there and people are interested. And I'm sure he was most importantly interested as well. And they let him like literally take apart the console where Sony was like, yeah, no, we're not giving you one. That was it. He's not pro Microsoft. He talks about all different kinds of tech, gaming PCs and smartphones. And it's not just, he's not just like you're making it like he's a Microsoft fanboy channel, and he's factually not. You just made a really, really broad, inaccurate statement. That's one of the reasons why you got flack. It wasn't you getting flack about defending the PS5. You were just making these assumptions about his content that are not true. There's other stuff that he says there too that's just not true. It wasn't that you were actually in the end right about the PS5, the performance difference being at worst negligible, but the claims that you were making and how you presented the information is what people were kind of face-palming at. But let's continue.
You can see this is one of his videos looking at the Xbox Series X that has 16 million views. The guy is very heavily an Xbox content creator.
He's not. He's not heavily an Xbox. He just got a bunch of access coming into the 9th generation from Microsoft. That's it. He is factually not. Like, you looking through his channel for 3 minutes would have made you realize that. Again, that's why you got called out and you got ratioed, man.
Nothing wrong with that. We all have our favorite systems, but I think a lot of people are kind of assuming malice. But here's the gigantic thing that's making me just lose my mind. People are apparently saying that this hotter heat somehow is going to cause the PlayStation 5 to melt or break, or sometimes just become faulty faster.
No one said, including me, no one said it's going to cause it to melt or break. What we said is that Sony may have been initially, when we saw this video, like, hey, these few degrees difference in temperature. The hardware, that's within spec of it. So it's cheap. What we thought in the beginning was it was cheaper to make. It wouldn't affect the longevity of the console that much. It could have, depending on the circumstances that you have your PS5 in, if you have it in an enclosed area with not good circulation or whatever. But all we said is that maybe over time it would cause the components to degrade quicker. No one ever said that it was going to make the system melt. That is a gross exaggeration that you're doing right there. Anyway.
Yes, I'm serious. There are millions of people on the internet claiming...
Millions? I don't think it was millions, but let's continue.
...that the PS5 is going to catch fire or something.
Not a soul, at least that I saw, said that the PlayStation 5 is going to catch fire. Because it runs a couple degrees warmer, and technically it could be arguable that it even does, because they were just pointing the heat sensor at the vents and it was pumping out more heat. No one ever said, not I, nor at least anyone that I know, has ever said that the console is going to catch fire because it runs a couple degrees warmer. That's what people were calling you out on, sir. It wasn't your actual take on the PS5. It's all this other crazy misinformation that you added into, like, I guess, aggrandize your video. Maybe that's the right word. If I'm using a word that isn't accurate there, go away. Leave the internet. Now, let's continue.
I think it's interesting that people are trying to pretend that this is just such a gigantic problem. Like, people are just across the internet right now. The amount of people trying to have this conversation point that, oh my God, this PlayStation 5 is going to melt. Oh my.
No one ever said it was going to melt. No one said it was going to melt. Why are you putting words in people? That's what people were annoyed at, dude. Let's continue.
There's so many PlayStation 5s just bursting into flames.
No one ever said a PlayStation 5 was going to burst into flames. I love his face right there, too. Those are some beautiful theatrical faces. No one, not a soul, remotely even insinuated, because if they thought the cooler was less efficient, which it actually ended up being more efficient after you watch Gamers Nexus and Digital Foundry's video. No one even before that, though, said it was going to burst into flames. Those are the things right there, Max, with your original video that got it ratio to an oblivion. Got it disliked into oblivion. Technically, you were right about the fact that the PS5 revision is actually more efficient at cooling the system. But it's the other claims that you made. Austin Evans is a Microsoft fanboy. That he's a pro Xbox and Microsoft. The only reason he talked about it more is because he had more access. That's what people were calling you out on, dude. But this is the part that really kind of triggered me to make a video on this, is that you had no problem. And look, I made videos too, and I make videos on other YouTubers all the time. You had no problem making a video, but when he just simply put your thumbnail of the video of you calling him out in his video, you made it like he attacked you. Anyway, let's continue.
I've done my best not to create any drama videos or even just try and stir things up with other YouTubers. But today,
you know as well as I know, you've been doing this for a long time. Not as long as me, but you've been doing this for a long time, that when you talk about another YouTuber, whether it's negative or positive, I've defended Boogie, I've criticized Boogie. Either way, you're going to get hammered. You know that. Sometimes worse than other times. I know that too. But when you call out another YouTuber, doesn't matter their size, it's gonna cause tension. It's just how it is. I think it's dumb, but you say something here that was like my mortal sin that inspired me to make the video. Let's continue to see what Max has to say.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here, and today we need to talk about Austin Evans and what has led to my most hated video ever.
It wasn't Austin Evans that led to your most hated video ever. It's you making claims and statements about him and that just weren't true. They just weren't true.
Now, I made the mistake of just trying to reply to that. I said that the system is pretty much running the same.
Yeah, but you made mistakes replying to it and saying things about him that weren't true. Again, that is what the problem is. I know I'm repeat myself, but he's not aware of this, I guess, Max. Dude, it wasn't about your take on the PS5. It's about you saying things that had no merit to them. No one was saying the PS5 was going to burst into flames. He's not a fanboy of Microsoft, Austin Evans. You added things in there to kind of spice up your video, but you added too much seasoning and it made the video, if it tastes like ass. I'm trying to compare it to food. I'm still fat. Let's continue.
This new PlayStation 5 that came out, it still plays the same games, it still has the same frame rates, it still has everything else. It's just like 3 degrees hotter. That does not mean it's worse. It just means it's different.
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, that wasn't the issue with your video.
Well, Austin Evans, 2 weeks ago, he released a video basically just replying to me.
No, he wasn't replying to you. He was just replying to the entire situation. He didn't even say your name, dude. He just put up a thumbnail of you talking about it with some very dumb takes in there. That he's a fanboy. That people are saying their PS5s are bursting into flames and they're burning down their homes. No, he did not reply to you. You're playing the victim here, dude. You're playing the victim. You made a commentary video about another YouTuber. All they did was passively mention you and not even say your name and put your thumbnail in the video that you were talking about them in their video. And now you're playing the victim when you did the same thing? Oh, you know that's my mortal sin, man. Let's continue, though.
And tried to call me out as just some dumb hater.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He just said that people were making all these different kinds of videos and he posted your thumbnail. He did not call you that. Yes, was he obviously putting your thumbnail up saying, yeah, I'm being critical of this video? Of course. But he did not do that. He didn't. So see right here in the video, he shows a bunch of different thumbnails of different people who are calling him out for his very inaccurate video. Yeah, and that's all he did. So yeah, you know how YouTube works, man. I've called out bigger YouTubers than me in terms of subs, and trust me, I know, with some examples, especially recently, you will get ratioed, you will get hammered. That's how it is. But this is not. All he did was post your thumbnail. You made a video talking about him and calling him a fanboy and directly calling him out. He didn't even put your name there. He just put the thumbnail. Why is it okay for you or I, for example, to talk about him, but when he just simply puts your thumbnail in a video, these are people that were making videos on this, and he even said, like, look, man, I get it. It's free real estate. I'm paraphrasing, but he kind of insinuated, like, look, it's free real estate. I get you're making a video. He didn't attack you, but why is it okay that we could talk about him, but he can't talk about us because he has more subs and you're going to play the punching down card? He literally says that in a second, and that's what drove me nuts.
After Austin posted this, I got completely flooded with hate.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to happen. I assure you, I know. What did you expect, dude? What did you expect? I got it the other way because I said that his take really wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, in the end, it was a mistake. Well, let's just move on from. People hated me for that. People hated me for that. No matter what, people are going to hate you. Like, why are you making it like he had this evil plot against you, especially when there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other thumbnails there? It's not just yours. He didn't just laser. You said he laser focused on you. He did not laser focused on you. There's 6 other thumbnails from other videos there, and he didn't even mention you by name. How can you play the victim when, just same with me, you initially made a video on him first about his video? You can't do this, dude, because this is what causes that double stand. Like, this is what causes that standard to happen, where even being critical of somebody is deemed by the community and eventually by YouTube too to be bullying. Like, I have a blast roasting DSP on a semi-regular basis because he does really funny things that he doesn't realize are funny, but doesn't mean I wish the man ill will. Absolutely, of course I don't. I don't want to see him get his personal information out there. I don't want to see his family be put on. I don't want to see someone put out his banking information, which is absolutely disgusting. But the problem is that we're getting to the point where even being critical of someone else because, oh, now they're sending their haters after me is going to be considered an attack. And comedy is going to die because of it, because no one's going to be able to talk about it. Everyone's going to have to be super nice like we're in pre-kindergarten again, because what you're doing right now. Oh, I could talk about a YouTuber with more followers than me, but if they talk about me or even just put my thumbnail in their video and not even mention my name, I'm going to cry victim, which is literally what you're doing right now. I was debating making this video, but when you did that, I had to, man, because that's not okay. It's not okay. Let's continue.
I mean, bombarded practically to the degrees I've never experienced before. Like, this guy has 5 million subscribers. I've got 200,000.
What does that matter? You're doing literally the thing that I say that shouldn't make a difference. What does it matter? I'm just a little guy on the internet. Dude, you talked about him. Why can't he talk about you? It's just, and he didn't even talk about you. It's just like, why can't there be a critical back and forth so long as it doesn't get personal or so long as no one's slandering each other? Technically, you put out misinformation about him saying that he was an Xbox fanboy, which is not true, factually. So why are you playing the victim card here? I just don't get it.
This dude laser focused his fan base on me.
No, he didn't. He didn't laser focus. There are 6 other thumbnails there besides yours, and he did not mention your name. I'm going to repeat the same thing, but I have to because, yeah, this really annoys me. It really does.
And you know what? I can take that. That's part of being a YouTuber. Is sometimes somebody bigger punches down on top.
You're doing the same thing that Intellivision did to me, or the people that were giving testimonials on the Intellivision YouTube channel did to me, because they had smaller YouTubers giving their reactions like, my jaw is hitting the ground, which I know his jaw wasn't hitting the ground. He was just looking to kiss Tommy's ass. And that's what people were saying to me, including Pat and Ian, were saying, oh, Rich is punching down. I'm like, what are you talking about? It was a compilation video put on Intellivision's corporate official YouTube channel, and I'm responding to it. Stop the thing of where so basically what you're saying, Max, is you're allowed to make a video on a larger YouTuber, and that's perfectly fine. You can make the video on them discussing a trending topic and talk about them because they have a bigger following, so it'll get viewers to your channel. But if they even in passing just put a thumbnail of you in their video, they're punching down. That's the same crap that Intellivision and Pat and Ian tried to pull on me. No, we're talking about each other's takes. Doesn't matter if we're a big channel. I don't care if you're a channel with 200 subs or 20 million subs. If I agree with your take and think it's video worthy, I'm going to talk about it. If I disagree with your take and I think it's video worthy, I don't care how small or how big your channel is. I'm not punching up or punching down. I'm discussing something. But you're playing the victim here when technically you started it. and his response was not laser focused on you, dude. You're clenching pearls here, man, and it's not okay. Let's continue.
It sucked. I hated some of the stuff people were saying. Some people told me to kill myself. I don't like that kind of talk.
Well, yeah, it's sometimes the internet, but obviously it bothered you because you're talking about it. Yeah, look, dude, I get it. It gets frustrating after a while, and sometimes you snap. Happened to me in a couple streams ago. You know what I mean? But generally, I just brush it off. Yeah, it's the internet. And I'm even going to get better at brushing it off in live streams, too. I'm learning a new dimension of social interaction on live streams that I have to learn to grow. But my point being is that, yeah, this is a thing, man. This is going to happen, and people are going to say vile things. There's a certain level where it goes too far. There's certain people that will put out things like personal information or purposely try to slander you. No, that's not okay, and that shit should be reported and stopped. But what you're complaining about right here is just silly. You're basically saying that there is a double standard where if someone has a bigger following than you can talk about them all day. They talk about you get to play the victim. That ain't it, Chief.
Well, here's what I did. Everybody was saying, you gotta do a reply. You gotta punch back, man. This guy's trying to drag your name.
He wasn't trying to drag your name, Max. You made a video on him. It got a decent amount of views for your channel. So he just put a thumbnail up saying, here's one of the videos that was talking about me. That's it. Like, he's not dragging your name through the mud. If anything, here, take it from a guy who knows, who has gotten a hell of a lot better, but once in a while feeds the trolls, is all you're doing is accelerating the hate campaign against you by talking about this. I get it's frustrating, but yeah, you were in the wrong here. Not about the PS5 in and of itself, but about the other things you said about Austin Evans, about him being a fanboy, and about consoles bursting into flames. That's what people are getting on you about.
The new PlayStation 5 is not worse. They are identical. They're the same freaking system. You know what? All this freaking console war BS, everybody trying to act like I'm dumb or defending the console. Look at the analysis.
No one is saying that you're dumb. They just said that you said things that were totally inaccurate about Austin and about what people were saying about the PS5. You're missing the point of why you got the criticism, and maybe me making this video will make you realize that. I don't know, but anyway, let's continue.
Here is an hour of research. Next time you want to try and just come into my comment section and say I'm a Sony shill because I think this new system isn't worse just because it has a slightly smaller heatsink, please do me a gigantic favor and take a long walk off a short dock.
Jesus, dude, you're just a little mad there, which I get. It gets frustrating, but you're missing the point as to why you were called out.
My video got thousands of dislikes for saying the objective truth.
No, you didn't say about the console, yes, but the other claims that you made that I've repeated 8 times in here, that's what people are getting on you about. No one owes you an apology. You said he was a fanboy. Not true. You said people were saying the console was going to burst into flames. Not true. You kind of spun the information to over-sensationalize it, and that's why you got ratioed, man.
I want an apology from every person who came to my channel and claimed I'm the worst YouTuber for saying something that was correct.
Wow, you're really missing the point here. It had nothing to do with the PS5 itself.
Austin Evans, I have no hate towards him.
Your face says otherwise. I get it, but your face says otherwise.
He's probably going to see this video. He kind of strikes me as a guy who Googles his own name like 5 times a day.
No, why? Dude, I look up my information. Maybe I'll look at my YouTube studio to check we all kind of do that, man. This is our job. We're going to check into our channels quite a bit each day. This is how we make our living. Like, what did that even mean? That was such a petty extra little jab you had to take there. Dude, you put up that video, okay? We can even end it here. I'm not even going to play the rest of this. Look, you made that video, just like when I made a video about said people that I'm not even going to name here. Just use your imagination. I go into those videos, and I've learned to do this. This is like how I would have reacted probably 6 or 7 years ago. When you go into these videos, you need to expect that this is the kind of shit that you're going to get, especially when you over-sensationalize them. This is what's going to happen. If you do this about another YouTuber again, Max, it's going to happen. You're going to have their fan base come to you, and they're going to thumb down your video. They're going to say nasty things. Like I say, I can look at the comment section on a YouTube video as equivalent of like a Yelp review. People mostly only go to Yelp to give negative reviews and complain about a product. That's what they usually do in the comment section too. This is what you have to expect. And you cannot, because I don't want to see this happen, and we're getting there. You complaining about Austin Evans laser focusing on you and making it seem like he was bullying you is just perpetuating that, anytime someone's critical of another content creator, then we have to consider it bullying. Because if we start to go down that rabbit hole, which we already pretty much are on YouTube, it's going to kill comedy. It's going to kill commentary. It's going to kill everything, where no one could say, everyone has to just be super nice to everybody and no one could have a take on anything. And you're perpetuating that by saying he was punching down on you. I thought that you knew better than this, but maybe now this will wake you up, man. You want to make videos about other people? If you get flack back, you got to realize that's part of the job. And saying that people are punching down because they didn't even really respond back to you is ridiculous. If we could dish it, we have to take it. And no, that doesn't include people making videos purposely taking things out of context, putting out your personal information, or flat out slandering you. I just have to put that out there too, because people don't seem to differentiate the two. Anyway, Max, just learn from this, move on. Not saying don't make another video on a content creator. Do. Hey, that's what we're here for. I do. And I'm critical of people, and I defend people all the time. It's part of my YouTube channel. But when I get flack for it, you just have to deal with the flack and not make it like you're being attacked. That's just welcome to doing YouTube. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.